Sugar, Sugar by the Archies? We'll talk about that. Sounds like this. Sugar, ba 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 ba. Ah, honey, honey, ba 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 ba. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. That'll get you into it. Hi, I'm Lisa, the Ukulele Fool, foolishly believing that your inner 9-year-old will be delighted by playing the ukulele. Welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you're not, well, it's good to see you again. We are going to do a beginner-friendly, but this is more like an advanced beginner piece. You only need these 4 beginner-friendly chords, but if this is your first time doing a F to G transition, I'm going to link up here a better tutorial for you, and I'll also put it down in the description box below. In this tutorial, we are going to quickly go over the chords, and then we're going to talk about the strumming, because that's where some of the bugaboo happens here. Not all strumming can be done the same way. Well, it can't. We'll talk about the strumming. I also have one of my signature history nerd sections in this video. We'll talk about the origins of this song, and I've got a play along for you. You can grab a chord chart so you can put this in your file of music to do. It links you to my Patreon site. I have a fabulous Patreon community. Oh my gosh, we interact at such a high degree in this community that we really have become an online community of ukulele fans. I'm sure many of you already know the C chord, but you know that F chord too. Looks like this. There's also a G chord, probably the first 3-finger chord that you have learned. This song also switches from an F to a G, so that might take some practice getting back and forth. I remember when I learned those chords and I went like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to workshop that. It also has a D. I play my D using these 3 fingers, and I get them all tidy and tucked up there in my 2nd fret on your G, C, and E string. In this song, you're going into the D from the C, and a C is one of those chords where your fingers are perpendicular to the fretboard, but then the D, you've got to move it up. So just you might practice going back and forth between C and D. I also want to let you know that you have some options for this D fingering. Let's go over that. The way I play my D chord with those 3 fingers like I was talking about is the most common way to play a D chord, but there is an alternative that is completely viable. I don't do it well because I haven't practiced it, but you take your G fingering, you move these 2 fingers over so they're on your G and E string, and then you get your ring finger tucked in just kind of like your G fingering. So it's like your G fingering, but you squish it all in the 2nd fret. If that works better for you, go for it. And I want to thank my friend Pete McCarty who gave me that idea. There's nothing that says that you can't do this song all with downstrum. Sugar, ba 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 ba, ah, honey, honey, ba 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 ba. Yeah, see, downstrums work just fine. But if you want to do a strumming pattern, a rhythmic accompaniment, then what you could do, option number 1, is do a bum ditty or cowboy strum. So you're catching the first 2 strings of your ukulele here, and bum ditty, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, like that. It's a really great strumming pattern to learn. It's the first strumming pattern that I teach to my beginning students. When you do it all with the bum ditty strum, it sounds a little bit like this. Sugar, ba 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 ba, ah, honey, honey, ba 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 ba. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Great strumming pattern for this song. If you'd like to up the ante and make it more of a challenge, let's do the island strum with it, but there's some trickeries involved. The island strum does not fit perfectly with this song because sometimes the chords change in 2 beats at a time, and the island strum is 4 beats long. So you can't fit the island strum completely on each chord. You have to break it up. My recommendation is to play the island strum on those 4 beat long chord changes, and then to go to the bum ditty when it's 2 beats per chord. How do you know that? Well, first of all, I realized that many ukulele players are not lifelong musicians, and they're coming into this because it is such an accessible instrument. So the chord chart that I offer has color coding in it. And so I will show you when you need to do those bum ditty strums instead of the island strum. This is what I'm going to do on the play along, and I'll color code the play along as well. Let me know if you're a history nerd like I am. Sugar Sugar was like the quintessential bubblegum pop song, which was a style of music that was really marketed for that preteen set, like I was in 1969 when this came out. I remember putting this on, and that was, we had to put the big cylinder on the record player and stuff, and 4th grade, you know, we're dancing to this music at the neighbors. It was fun. Made me feel like I was, you know, go-go boot teenager. Despite the fact that this music was marketed to those, you know, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, it didn't mean necessarily that it was bad music. And this song certainly had some real legs to it. It was a #1 hit in Canada. It was 8 weeks on the top of the chart in the UK. It was a huge hit in the United States. It was #1 in South Africa, Denmark, Brazil, Mexico, Spain, Austria. So people all over the world really liked this song. I think a real testament to the success of this song as a pop song is the fact that it was re-recorded in 1970, a year later, with Wilson Pickett as an R&B song. So the album that we had said it was done by The Archies, which was a Saturday morning TV show featuring the comic book characters Archie and Veronica and Betty, Jughead, all those guys. And they had a little band that they played for their high school. Well, the band wasn't really a band. It was studio musicians that were put together by one of the label geniuses, Don Kirshner. It was mostly studio musicians that filled in the soundtrack for the cartoon, including Sugar Sugar. But Ron Dante did most of the male vocals on that for all of the Archie things, including Sugar Sugar. Come play it along with me. I'm going to do the island strum through most of this, but when the chord changes only require 2 beats, I will highlight them in yellow, and I'll be doing a bum ditty strum. Your starting pitch for your vocals is your opening string, sugar. 1, 2, 1, 2, and here we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. about me wanting you. All right, give me a fist bump. Let me know how you're doing on this. I love hearing that from you. Come join us on Patreon.